guys, welcome back. I am coming at you on a Sunday night instead. Well, I'm filming on a Sunday night. Usually I film on Monday mornings right before I ship, but I have too many things that I need to ship tomorrow that I'm trying to get a head start. So I have a surprise for you. Somebody's gonna join us today. Grumpy Picker. He's gonna help us pull our items. He's gonna share his insight and his, brain today when we talk his wisdom when we talk about, what are we talking about today?
Inventory intake process.
We're going to talk about how we do things. Not that it should be the way you do things, but it'll just give you an idea of how we do things. So, stick around. We're starting with a clothing item today. Harley Davidson. Okay, this I picked up just a week ago, and I listed this and sold it within 5 days. I paid $3 for it and sold it for $17.99 on eBay. I don't sell a lot of clothes, but it's an actual Harley. It's here somewhere. There. It's an actual Harley item, so it sold fast.
Next up is this exciting box made out of wood.
Okay, Kyle, tell us about this exciting box.
It's a box made out of wood.
I call it a wooden box.
I call it a wooden box. It's mahogany. We were going to throw it in the trash. Instead, we sold it
For $10 on eBay. Was it worth it? All right, speaking of another thing that maybe I shouldn't have bought, there is this. I had just recently sold one of these not all that long ago, and in my head, in my memory, it had sold for a decent amount of money. However, my memory wasn't so good. I paid $1 for this, so not very much money, and it sold pretty quick, just a couple weeks, but it only sold for $7.50. In case you don't know, this is the top. It's a replacement piece to a fairy lamp, and fairy lamps can sell well, but no low.
Next item, it's way down here, and it's called a frequency meter. It's pretty cool. So sometimes when we're buying on online auctions, we will see everything in the picture for whatever, and nobody will have bid on it, and I can't pass it up. So I bid $1 on everything in the picture, and there was all kinds of things, but one of them was this meter, and I think we sold it for $24.99, and I only had $1 in the whole lot of stuff, so we don't have hardly anything in it.
Next up, this little brass tray. So brass things can be pretty good, so I typically try to look at them. Found this at a flea market for $4, and it only lasted for about 2 weeks. I had it for sale, and I sold it for $19.99 on eBay. Keep an eye out for good brass items. Speaking of brass, I guess it was a brass weekend. Got 2 of these that sold. 2 of them. And I found these at a garage sale just over a month ago. And they sold for $24.99, also on eBay. So again, brass items. Brass candlesticks in particular I usually look at. Yes, I'm happy. This next little cutie we got on our anniversary trip to Iowa just a couple weeks ago. Little art glass cat. It had its sticker ice set. I don't think there. Can you see it maybe? Ice set. This was only $2 at a thrift store, and it sold for $14.99 on Facebook Marketplace with shipping. Yes, you can sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace with shipping. In fact, I'm going to show you 3 more things we sold this weekend that are going to be shipped out on Facebook Marketplace.
All right, so next thing, way up here. As Lori likes to say, it's a gooseneck lamp. This one's made by Panasonic, which is kind of cool. It's not the oldest one in the book. Can't see. Here, hold that, Lori. There, and tilt it a little, because it's pretty. Pretty manly. See what it's in my face.
Yeah, it is. You can hold it in front of my face.
Okay. So, this lamp, again, estate sale clear out that we got. We bought everything they had left over and paid one flat amount. So we had to attribute how much we feel we have in this, which was $3. And we're going to talk about that later, but how to do that. But this nice little lamp for a desk has a real nice masculine appeal and sold for
$24.99.
$24.99. So
on Facebook Marketplace with
Facebook
shipping.
Marketplace.
So
and yeah, so
don't discount Facebook Marketplace.
3 and
25.
25 is good.
Next up are some more candlesticks. Also another item I picked up on our anniversary weekend. So these look kind of like brass, but these are not brass. These are just a gold tone metal candlestick. My honey. And I found these at a thrift store on our anniversary. Did I say that? Yes, I did. For $3. And these are tapered, graduated height candlesticks. And I know that brass ones sell really, really well. And I didn't figure these would sell as well, but I figured they would sell. And they did sell for $19. So $3 into $19. Didn't take very long, just a couple weeks. And again, Facebook Marketplace with shipping. All right, I'm not gonna try to pick this little kitty up. I'll just show them to you in a minute, but this is the next thing I've got. Isn't he cute? This little cat and this little fish bowl. This was only $1 at a thrift store, and I just got this last week. And it's not the original bowl, which I disclosed in the listing. And the kitty has a little bit of a glazed chip on its ear, as you can see. But for $1, I was like, somebody's gonna like it. The chip's not that bad. And somebody did like it, and they paid $22 for it. And again, Facebook Marketplace. So like I said, don't sleep on Facebook Marketplace. It's not just for local pickup. All right, we thought we would talk to you today about our process for keeping track of our inventory as it comes into our house, and how do we figure out how much we paid, especially when we're buying big groups of items. But what does that look like for us? So Kyle?
So we realize that everybody's not going to do this the way we do, and I know some real sellers don't even put anything on paper at all. They just bring it home and sell it.
Which would be called the cash accrual. I mean, no.
Cash accounting method.
Yes.
We follow an accrual system because that's what's worked for us as we grew, and I'm thinking we're going to change. But regardless, the way we do things right now, we bring everything home and put it all on a spreadsheet, just a Google Docs spreadsheet, and we write down each item, and we write down if we know what we paid for it. I say if we know because sometimes it's Goodwill bins, or it's like that large lot of things I talked about earlier, the little fellow's workbench that had that gauge on it. We don't know what we paid for each item, so we have to use a formula to do that.
So we get them all on the spreadsheet. We put down how much we paid for it, or we calculate how much we paid for it. We write down when we bought it, we write down where we bought it, as far as like whether it was a garage sale that we sourced it at, whether it was a thrift store, whether it was a flea market, antique store, estate sale buyout, whatever, just so that we know and can keep track of where we're getting our best inventory down the road if we want to look at it like that. So we get it on the spreadsheet. That's our first step. We do that. How long does it take us usually? Probably
depends on the things, because we've had truckloads and we've had less than that. One other thing that we do that takes a lot of the time, though, is to comp it, decide if it's even worth selling. Especially if we do something like an estate clean out where it's hundreds of items and we didn't pick them, we just said, okay, we'll take it all. Or that everything for $1 lot that we brought home and have to sift through. Or if you ever go to in-person auctions, you have probably seen, hey, all these 6 boxes and nobody's wanting them $1, and you're the one that goes, oh heck, I'll take it for $1. Now you gotta go through all that stuff and decide what's worth keeping and what's not.
Hopefully the things that we're buying individually and picking out individually are worth keeping. How do we determine whether it's worth keeping or not, though?
Well, we have multiple steps that we try and go through. First and foremost is that comp. Is it worth at least X number of dollars? Now that's shifted over the years for us. It used to be, well, we used to not even have one. If it was $5, we'd sell it. But it's gone up over the years to 10 to 15. Now I'm pushing Lori to go to 25.
I'm trying, but it's hard.
If we sell a $5 item or sell a $25 item, all the steps to do it are the same. Amount of time to do it, the photography, the packaging for mailing and everything. It's so why not sell the higher dollar items if you can get them instead of selling that little stuff that doesn't do it for us.
However, there are exceptions, and we do make exceptions for those things that might be a lower dollar price point because they're easy to list, easy to store, easy to ship. They're just going to be fast flips, maybe because their sell-through rate is really good. We don't expect to sit on it for very long.
Sell-through rate has got to be the second criteria for, I think, any reseller. Just because it's worth some money, if it's going to sit on your shelf for 5 years before you get it sold, that's not in my opinion, a good investment. So, what's the sell-through? So, the reverse of that's true. If it's worth $9.99, but it sells at 200% sell-through, and it's not going to sit on your shelf long, then we'll probably hang on to it and go ahead and sell it. So
yeah, that's what I said, sell-through rate, right? And then another factor on whether or not we keep it or not is going to be, does it require any cleaning, repairing, or testing? Because those things take time also.
Yeah, I mean, some electronics have such a high return rate. I've heard huge numbers, and that's been our experience too. So if we bring it home, we got to test it to see that it works properly. That's more time invested. Then if it doesn't work, we just wasted our money as well as our time. So we try and limit how much we buy those types of things that need cleaning, need repair, especially repair. Repair is a rat hole. So you look at this really cute thing like a cat bookshelf that's in pieces.
But it's so cute!
And Kyle can fix that. Well, yeah, but is it worth my time to do all the things that I need to do to it so that we can put it out there for $20 or $10?
It's a $25 item if he fixes it.
So let's make sure that we don't have too many projects, because that's going to kill you.
And inevitably, those projects, those things that need to be cleaned and tested and fixed, they are the ones that end up in our death pile.
Because you don't want to do it.
And they sit there for a long time.
Right. So, I mean, if it's worth a couple $100, you betcha I'm going to jump on that. But it's got to be worth the time. Your time is worth something. Keep telling Lori that. Her time is worth something. Even if she just went to McDonald's and stopped doing reselling, she's at least worth $15 an hour, right? So you got to consider your time. Another aspect are things that you might not buy individually to sell individually, and we have 3 examples of that. One would be these brass candlesticks that you see her selling all the time. She'll buy one for $1 here or $1 there and add them up and then pool them and put them in a group and sell them. So she's not going to put that on inventory if she has a single one. She'll just let that roll into what the rest of them are then when she goes to list her lot.
But that's one of our criteria for whether we keep it or not, is that it may not be worth keeping individually by itself. But if it's something that we can put into a lot, like those candlesticks or picture frames, I sell picture frames in lots.
With the metal.
Yeah. Or books, or
books in a series, like a kid's series.
Nancy Drew.
Babysitter what's it called?
Babysitter's Club.
Babysitter's Club.
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps are good. So, yeah, you'll pick up one or two. You don't want to put that on inventory. You want to group them up eventually, and at some point, obviously, have to have a line for all those. But we're not going to do that individually for this.
But those can be definitely worth selling if you have enough of them. So don't just write it off because it's not worth enough by itself.
Right.
And then where we're selling, does that factor into whether we keep it or not?
Yeah, I mean, we've done a little bit of furniture because we think we can sell it locally on Facebook Marketplace. I'm not going to ship, a dresser.
We have a coffee table for sale though.
Yes, we did. We picked up at that last estate cleanout. We picked up 2 pieces of furniture, dresser and an armoire.
Let me show you pictures.
And we didn't really want them, and they were heavy and hard to handle. But we loaded them up and brought them home, thanks to our friends,
Paula and Lyle.
And then Lori flipped them in a week, I think.
Yeah.
For $100 a piece.
Yeah.
We only paid $170 for everything we got from the sale, so we're already in the profit.
So then we had everything else to still make money on. We're gonna do pretty good on that estate. That gooseneck lamp came from there too.
Yeah, where you can sell something. Are you going to put it online? Are you going to use Facebook Marketplace? A rare third place that we've used is an auction house. So we've done auction houses 2 times. Once we had a piece of art that was real limited and was worth $1,500, $2,000. We sent that to an art house in Arizona that specialized in that type of art and that artist. The other one was a piece of military. It was a stick grenade from Vietnam era, and we sent that to an auction house in Ohio because they have the audience. They can get us the most money for it. It's better than trying to do it in other places. So auction house, while rare, is an option sometimes.
But obviously those were things we knew we wanted to keep. So we were off. We weren't giving those away.
Well, we couldn't have put the military piece on eBay.
Oh no, we couldn't. You couldn't.
That's a factor.
But yeah, I guess you're right. All right, and then as we're sorting through the inventory, the big lots of inventory and all the stuff that we don't think is worth selling, what do we do with it?
Well, it's either trash or it's giveaway. Sometimes stuff's just not even in good enough condition to pass on. But if it's in good repair, then we'll take it to one of the many local places, like
thrift stores.
Sometimes Goodwill. More often we have one in our town called God's Storehouse, and they give to a lot of folks in need in our community. So
it stays in our community. Money.
So that's one we use a lot. But got to think about what you're going to do with it if you're not keeping it, because that can be a lot. We had friends do a house clean out.
You mean Paula and Lyle?
They probably had, I don't know, there was a huge dumpster that they just were throwing stuff away, and these guys know what's good and what's not, so they weren't throwing good stuff away. And that was a lot of work for them, and you want to be careful how you source, because you can get yourself in a lot of work. So another factor, it's important to do it quickly. So let's say you come home with a full pickup load. You need to get that onto your inventory if you're doing our type of accounting quickly, because if you let it sit for too long, you're going to forget where it came from, what you paid for it, on and on. I mean, we have had inventory string around, and we've listed it before we ever got it on our inventory and sold it, and it's like, we never did put it on the inventory. You want to have the time to put it away quickly so it's not sitting there getting stale.
So then once we have it on our inventory, then we have to put it away. We have to put it somewhere. So our process, we have 2 different areas that inventory lives in our house currently. One area is for our unlisted inventory, aka the death pile, I guess, because that's where all of it is. And we have shelves, kind of like we have in here, with all of our listed inventory. So this is the other place our inventory lives. It's either listed or unlisted, and they're 2 separate rooms. Yeah, our unlisted.
To get it put away, or you'll end up stumbling on it and have it in every place except where you want it. You'll find a piece in the bathroom. Oh, I thought I listed that, but you never even made it to the pile. So
yeah, it is kind of nice having a separate location to store your inventory from the rest of the place that you live in. Okay, the last little thing we want to maybe mention on bringing inventory into our house would be that you want to be careful what you bring into your house. For instance, things that have been living outside in boxes where there might be bugs or critters. We don't want to bring those in our house. I don't want to bring those in our house.
Yeah. If we go to in-person auctions and that things have been living in the barn for 10 years, 20 years, yeah, we want to make sure that's all safe to bring into our house, or just leave it outside and take care of it from there when you get a chance to clean it and that sort of thing. But remember to put it on inventory.
Yeah, get it on inventory. Okay, so why do we do that? Why do we go to all the trouble of keeping track of every item? Because we do the accrual method of inventory, and that's what we've done. So you have to know what you're spending on each item. You have to keep track of each item because you don't get to write off the cost of that item until it sells. So for those of you that are doing that method of inventory, that's why it's important. If you're doing the cash method of accounting, that means you don't have to keep track of every item. You just have to keep track of that sum of money that you spent when you spent it. And then when it sells, it sells. So there are benefits and disadvantages to each method. This is a timely method of accounting.
It's one of the reasons we're going to change. It takes a lot of work.
It does take a lot of work. The advantage I like to it is that I know what I paid for an item. I know how long I've been sitting on it, how long I've had it. I know how much I get for it, what my profit is on that particular item. And when we switch to a cash method, we won't have those numbers at our disposal anymore. So something to keep in mind. But I hope you learned something, and you don't have to do it like us, but that's what we've been doing. Back to another Facebook Marketplace sale. Take it away.
So this time we had been to an what do you call that kind of auction?
Kind of like a church sale, but like, it was a rummage sale, I guess.
Yeah, like a historical society was having a rummage sale. Anyway, while we're standing in line for over an hour waiting to pay, because it was busy, we're walking along all the stuffed animals and all the lamps, and we saw this one lamp that was really cute.
There it is.
Circo, little race lamp.
I think which is Target maybe.
And sold it to our local pickup on Facebook Marketplace. Paid $3 and it sold for $20. And I'm so glad because that was a neat little lamp. I didn't want it to get lost and wasted.
We saved it. Next up is this cute small little Asian plant stand, I guess it is. So maybe you put like a pot or a vase on this, I guess. This was also part of a recent estate sale cleanout we did. We attributed $1.86 for it as the cost of it. And I had this listed on eBay for $19.99, but when I cross-listed it to Poshmark, I listed it for $25 there. And that's because Poshmark is known, or at least for me in my experience, I don't usually get top dollar. People make offers on Poshmark a lot. And so I was trying to increase my price there so I could still get what I was hoping to get, which was $20, but I got a full price sale on this at $25. So $25, that meets our threshold of having an average sales price of $25. Kyle will be proud of me. Kyle, are you proud of me?
What?
Are you proud of me? A $25 item.
Oh, good job.
Okay, over here where I keep some of the toys, we have these cute little mini Funko Pops. So, Funko Pops, big regular size ones, I don't really pick up anymore. They don't do very well. This was a whole group, and they were only $1 at a garage sale, and they were all horror related items. If I say they were $1, they were 50 cents. Anyhow, I sold these pretty quickly. Only took 2 weeks. Sold them for $19 on Mercari. I did have a few Mercari sales today. That's a shocker too.
Here we go. It's another clothing sale from a non-clothing seller. Big Dog. You guys remember these? Okay, you gotta be older to remember it, I guess. But found this, and it's an interesting story. The Big Dog was, I don't know, it was a 90s thing, I think. And this shirt is a Why Big Dogs Are Better Than Men. So, interesting story was, on an online auction, I bought a dresser for like $1. And the dresser itself had these handles that we're gonna sell. They're listed, that are antique. They are old. We got it home, and there were clothes, including whitey tighties.
We're not selling those.
And in the drawers. Had no idea. And so we look everything up. Looked this up. Listed it a few months ago, I think. Sold it on Mercari for $10.13.
I accepted an offer so we could get it down here.
So saved the shirt, didn't waste it. Made $10, which paid for
more than paid
everything.
for the dresser.
Yeah. So fun sale.
All right, we have these dishes that sold. These are Pyrex dishes. So this stuff came from another of the estate sale clearance we did, and because there was a few of them together to put for sale, I decided to go ahead and list them. I have found that these custard dishes, if you have a large enough group of them, usually I try to have at least 4 of them, they will sell well actually, so keep an eye out for these. And this one's just a little bit bigger. So I lotted these up for sale. And then actually, I just had them for sale for a couple weeks, but we did another estate sale clear out from the same people, and I found another of these big bowls, and I was gonna redo my listing and add the extra bowl to it so that there'd be, you know, even if I didn't get very much more money for it, I figured I might as well throw it in, right? Well, before I could do that, this sold for $19.99 on Etsy. I'm gonna throw the extra bowl in anyway because one bowl's not gonna do me any good, so they're gonna get a bonus. Okay, over here, underneath all this stuff, which I'm not gonna try to do with one hand, is the next thing that sold. It's a Lazy Susan. I don't know why Susan gets called lazy, but anyhow, another estate sale clearance item. This was from the one we did in March several months ago. I listed it in April, so it took a while to sell, but didn't do too bad on it. It sold for $28.50 on Etsy, and we have, I think, attributed $2 to it. So $2 into $28.50, that's more than 10 times my money. That's meets our minimum $25 sales price that we'd like. So yes, that's a win. I'm happy. Gosh, we sold a lot of stuff from the estate sale clear out today. This Pyrex bowl is the next thing that sold. Estate sale cleanouts can be good. I do end up with some decent things. Sometimes things that I wouldn't have picked up by themselves. And also the prices for the clean out end up being a lot better than even a half price day. So make connections with people. Try to make deals to get inventory. I'll have to talk about that in a future video. But anyway, this square Pyrex bowl, it's got lightware, and we only have a couple bucks in it, and we sold it for $21.99, also on Etsy, which, just a reminder, if you haven't watched my videos before, I only charge $5 shipping there. This will cost more than $5 to ship, but it shouldn't be much more than $10 to ship. So probably I'm only going to be looking at about $16 before fees on this. But still, when you've got very little money in it, it didn't quite meet the $25 threshold, but I'm still happy. The very last thing I have, way up high, is this cool shelf. 3-tier wood shelf in very good condition. I have found that this kind of thing sells actually really well on Etsy, not as well on eBay. I've sold a lot of vintage wooden type of home decor items on Etsy, so it definitely is a marketplace for vintage home goods. And this sold for $33.99 plus my $5 ship, and I found this at a garage sale for $1. A lot of times people at garage sales don't know and they're just ready to get rid of it. So that was the case. I took advantage. I paid their asking price, so I really wasn't taking advantage, and turned that dollar into $33.99. So that is it for this weekend. I think I'm shipping out 19 things, which is a good solid weekend for us. That doesn't include the Facebook Marketplace in-person sale we made. That brings us to the end of another video. I hope you liked the surprise appearance of Grumpy Picker. If you'd like to see more of him, let me know. I could do more of these if I could twist his arm into doing them with me on Sunday evenings. And if not, in the next few months, if you don't see him more in the next few months, maybe after he retires from his full-time job, after the first of the year sometime, maybe you'll see more of him then. Did you have anything you wanted to add? Thanks for being here. Let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about. And what are you doing? What are you doing? Children, I tell you. Until next time, friends. Happy picking!
Bye.